Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
Yo, Doug. Kenny Boucher here. The Long War Podcast, joined tonight by two legends of the game scene. Sean Naden, of course, Mike Haspil. Practically doesn't need introduction, though I just introduced him. What's up, guys?
This is the Long War.
This is the Long War.
Wait, is it the Long War?
Yeah. So we are missing Juice because he's on the way to Nuevo York.
He's traveling to see me.
Yeah.
And be judged.
That's right.
Do you still have your Judge Dredd badge?
I do still have my Judge Dredd badge.
Nice.
It's impossible to say that. Judge Dredd badge. That's a hard 3 words to say in a row.
I will be the law this weekend at the Battle for Salvation Northeast Team Championships. Very excited.
Oh, yeah. So definitely a big shout out to the Battle for Salvation crew. Those guys are putting on a great show. 5-man team.
Yep, we have 20 teams showing up. We had 22 registered to have had to back out this week, but 100 people playing 40K this weekend in New York, which is great. It's even more than our GT in October had. So nothing but growth. Battle for Salvation, if you guys don't know, it's one of the best gaming clubs in the around. It's what I play on Monday nights in White Plains, New York. And we put on 2 big events a year. October, we have our GT, and then now this is our second year betaing this team tournament in April. Last year, we started it out as a 1-day event with 10 teams of 3, and this year it's 20 teams of 5, 100 people.
Congratulations on that growth.
Mm-hmm.
Look, before we get too far into actual real-life content, we have to take it back a second. This is when there'd be a poop joke, a dick joke, something. We're missing a lot of our material this week because, we got a glutens guy and a guy with a documented lack of a O-ring who aren't present.
And missing gallbladder, too.
Yeah. So yeah. We don't have anything good for you there. I did relay my only dick joke of the week on the webcast. Not even worth really broaching here.
Nah.
But do we have maybe a Ricky Bobby one? Something? Can we think about something in context? We're going to talk about pop culture tonight. So just want you guys to think about it. So maybe we call back to this moment. Don't forget this moment.
To a Ricky Bobby thing.
So,
all right, we'll see.
I want to see a callback. Speaking of tournaments, Battle for Salvation, Legends. These guys do a great show every year. Friends with these guys. Also, they're going to be streaming live from the event, so definitely don't miss out on that on Twitch. I'll do my best to host all weekend for them. I'll be at Kingdom Con this weekend in San Diego. It's the last one they're doing. Unfortunately, it will be a Broadside Bash. I got Best General last year. I'm going to try to come in again, do the same thing. We've got a new list. We got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which we'll talk about a little bit because that's content. Chaos. But I didn't have time to get all the Dirty Mike and the Boys made and the Terminators and all the cool new things. But I have one new cool thing in my list that I'm excited about. I was asking Sean what he was excited about his list, but then he informed me he was judging people.
Yep, I'm not playing this weekend. Head judge, full of snark, full of nonsense. If I don't know the rule, I'm just going to make it up on the spot.
Yeah, you got to understand when you call Sean to the table, can get real.
Get real.
He's going to ask you, can I see your book? And if you don't have it, he's like, cool, this is now the rule.
Here's how that works now.
I think I did that to Kelsey at the Long War Doubles last Adepticon.
Mm-hmm.
He called me and asked me how the rule worked, and I said, well, where's your codex? He's like, well, I don't have one. And I was like, well, then this is how the rule is going to work right now.
Oh, wow. Savage.
Get good, Kelsey. But we'll just do it. We'll get it out of the way. Rob Baer is not here with us, but he did Facebook me very obnoxiously a series of news articles. Why would you send me a literal spreadsheet screenshot, Rob? Okay. I'm going to start with the screenshot spreadsheet. Chaos Space Marine Dark Apostle plastic box. It's coming out April 13th. Just a few days, apparently. Or from April 13th. I don't know. There's a spreadsheet column here. It's coming out this month. $35. Chaos Space Marine Master of Executions plastic clam. $25. Chaos Space Marines Chaos Lord clam, 25 bones. Looks like Battle Tome Fire Slayers. What the hell is that?
That's
it's the dwarves.
Yeah, dwarves AOS.
Yeah.
I see. There's an English and a French version. Hardback and softback coming out. $40 for English, $35 for French. War Scroll cards for those same Fire Slayers. $15, English and French. They got a dice set. I don't know what they're going to look like. Hopefully.
Cracked lava. I don't know.
Cracked lava. This is good. $20. These also have the same exact range of dates on them. They have a
it's pre-orders go up Saturday, I believe.
That's what it is. The 13th is pre-order. Okay. They've got a Magmic Invocations must be like their thing. Their
That's their new the new Sigmar stuff this last year. Every race is getting like spells, that endless spells, so that they have a model to represent them as they go across the board.
Oh, so that's right.
That's their endless spells kit.
Just like the Judgment of Corns and stuff like that. Yeah.
Like the Minotaur that's running around for like the Beastmen and stuff like that.
Well, $35. That's the thing, guys.
Purple Sun of Xerxes.
They also have a Magmic Battleforge, 35 bones. Doomseeker.
Sounds like a character.
Plastic clam, yep, 25 bones. The Red Feast novel, $27. And there is a web store exclusive Battle Tome, limited edition, hardback for $80. Got through it. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. So I guess that's the Warhammer
page 2.
stuff. That's the Warhammer stuff. This is way worse reading it. I love trolling Rob when he's reading it, though. Star Wars Legion Stormtroopers, $25.95. Is this a typo? Stormtroopers on Dewback?
No, that's the lizard that they ride.
Yeah.
On Lizard, $24.95. Stormtroopers. Yes, they guard the beast. Oh, he knew I wouldn't know what it was. He wrote it in parentheses. I'm reading this for the first time. He wanted me to mention this. I'll mention that at the commercial break. Science news. Oh, he's got science news. This is interesting. Oh, he even told me this is where I can make a beehole joke. Science news.
Oh, yeah.
First ever pic of a black hole taken. Beehole joke. Important because light and radio can't escape.
Yeah. Supermassive black hole. Yep. Yeah, they image that. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, now when you say supermassive black hole and I have that beehole in my mind. It's like a hula hoop. You know?
Yeah. It's ringed by what looks like fire too. So a bunch of people have been comparing it to like the Eye of Sauron. So.
Oh, shit's going down? Is that what you're saying?
I'm like, I would hope so.
Well, then you like,
like, is that wrong? That if somebody was like, dude, Sauron's real, I'd be like, awesome.
So we can finally advance this narrative. Thank you. Middle Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'll be chilling in the Shire.
Probably more likely the prison for Morgoth, but let's be real.
Yeah.
God, you guys are dirty.
Oh, yeah. Incidentally, before we continue, I'm going to nerd detour here. Apparently, the Amazon series. Have you heard this, Sean? Is about the fall of Numenor.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yep.
Yeah. So that's
where they're starting. So they'll probably slide over, which is awesome too, because you'll probably be able to see, young Sauron or middle-aged Sauron in that section, and pre Ring of Power, pre breakdown, which would be really cool.
Yeah. Over under on them actually using the phrase Black Numenorians in this day and age. I'm guessing they're gonna dodge that.
Dodged. But yeah, no, that's a cool part to start at because it connects so well to the Lord of the Rings that people know without going all the way back to like the Noldor and all that.
Yeah.
In the first age, second age, and stuff. But so I think it's a good start to show up because again, it's human based, which is more accessible for people that feel that people dive into the Lord of the Rings versus the elf stuff because elves are always
the word you're looking for is for casuals.
Yes. Elves are harder buy-in, I feel like, as characters, just because like they're so uber powerful and immortal. It's harder to be. Even though the Numenarians are functionally almost immortal, they got that Old Testament lifespan.
Yeah.
It's funny that you said Old Testament. I was like, this sounds very Old Testament-y.
It is.
Nova Star pointed out that supermassive black hole totally looks like the Eye of Terror. So I have to mandatory now say, by contract, obligatory Cadia stands.
See, that even as much as I love to 40K roleplay, it's not a universe I want to live in.
No. Mm-mm. Not at all.
Bad times. According to my spreadsheet, we're going to be transitioning into big FAQ predictions.
Oh, was that the end of
Tabletop Marketplace?
Tabletop?
Yeah.
Do we wrap it up?
We did it.
Oh.
And you guys took it to Lord of the Rings very organically. So,
yeah. Before we segue into the fact, though, there was an announcement where GW is now working with the Scouts in the UK, so that folks can get a merit badge, building models and stuff, building Games Workshop models. So that's pretty cool. Hope it crosses the Atlantic.
Confirmed that the new merit badge is indeed a Chaos Star.
I don't think it is.
We cannot confirm or deny that.
Yeah, we cannot confirm that.
But that's the type of content.
It better not be a
stuck
Space
with
Marine.
just me and Mike. That's when we slip into Lord of the Rings talk, like half every episode when it's just me and Mike.
Oh, expect it. That's why we have a pop culture reference. We don't get this very often. We don't get to do a pop culture extravaganza with these two nerds. It's gonna be glorious. Earlier on the webcast where we farm a lot of our content and questions, big FAQ predictions. Obviously, big FAQ is right around the corner. Lots of things are going to get addressed, post chapter approved era. Let's detail some of those predictions right now, Sean.
Yeah, I think if you look at results from the last two big events that are back to back in GW's mind, LVO and Adepticon, the big things coming out of LVO were these flyer spam lists, especially Eldar ones, and Knights of all kinds obviously have been running amok and very powerful since their release last summer. And they weren't addressed in chapter approved at all, which sent some people into a tizzy fit about that when December came around. So I think those are the two big ones that might take some hitting. I don't know how they'll go about that, whether it's a change again to how flyers interact with the regular game, or if it's a points increase for them and the Knights. So I can't speculate to that much degree. I don't think there'll be anything about Yunari in there because Yunari is getting that new index in White Dwarf that we've seen previews for. So the FAQ, I don't think will address them at all because all that stuff is organically happening. And I don't think there'll be that much other changes. I can't really see anything that's too drastic.
I think they might revisit fly keyword.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because they really snap it. Remember they snap FAQ'd it before?
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because all it really needed was the clause when moving or in the movement phase. Because absolutely a guy with a jump pack shouldn't be able to cheat inches. And they did it with one word where it's like, So I feel like he should still be able to jump dudes when he assaults, jump dudes with heroic intervention. He should be able to power right in. I don't think he should be able to screen them out. And I think 99% of the community agrees with that. And I wasn't even a guy running Smash Captains. So I have a feeling that might get revisited because, they start working on these things a while back. So that emotion was really, really prevalent in the community back when they would have started working on this.
Yeah, but I don't think it's actually impacted many games.
No, it hasn't. That's why I'm saying it's a prediction. It's not like how I feel.
So I don't think that they're going to even revisit it. I think it'll just stay. I think they'll just confirm a lot of the betas that have existed since the last chapter approved time. Yeah. All those betas will just get confirmed and be full rules now, like they did last year with the Smite became a full rule, got more fully realized. I don't think the Fly one will change because there hasn't been a huge outcry. There was an outcry when it first got changed, but then the players played and it didn't really change how those units interacted in the game very much. A lot of people questioned whether that change to Harlequins would affect the Solitaire, but I still slip the Solitaire in like the silky assassin knife that she is. She still slides into those holes and gaps, gets all up in there. And I think the same thing with Smash Captains.
Smash Captains get all up in there as well.
Yeah, they bring the D.
They bring it deep. The deep strike, that is.
The deep strike.
They do. So, yeah, it's good. I agree with you. I agree. I don't think it needs, it hasn't affected my play style. I can't really remember. Okay, I will say this. It does suck when you can't charge out of a ruin now. So that does kind of suck. So I wonder if there'll be
with the monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is annoying. It's like I'm trapped. Even though I clearly was capable of getting in here, I cannot now get out of here until my next turn. So that's a little weird, but whatever. We've been talking about, that could be a terrain fix too. I've been advocating for a terrain overhaul using keywords since day one. So
yeah, that's still the weakest part of 8th is terrain, I feel.
And the strongest part is keywords. So I'm just like, put them together.
Yeah.
But I don't predict that. I don't predict that I'll be talking about.
I don't predict huge major changes. It's not going to be like last year where we got the rule of 3 this time of year, which was a massive change to the game. I don't think anything in this FAQ is going to be as massive as that was. I can't even really see them making like a 0 to 3 flyer rule. I don't even see that happening. I think they'll handle it some other way.
Yeah, yeah, they've been taking the easier way in a lot of these because a lot of these fixes would be like updating what detachments requirements are, what you get from detachments. Like we've been saying since day one, we need to fuck around with detachments, but they haven't yet. So I don't think any of that's gonna come down the pipe. So I agree with you. We'll see. I would really like to see Obliterator stay 65 points.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Nope. Battle for Salvation, or not? Sorry.
What would be funny would be if they came in or like halfway, like it was like 90 or like 85.
We're like, fine, we'll give you 90. Yeah. I hit up Battle for Salvation. God, I said it again. Broadside Bash. I was like, are we using new cast stuff? They're like, yep. I was like, what points for the Obliterator? He's like, Codex. I almost just said, fuck it, they're on my list. But then I couldn't because I was like, I can't go in there and like kill units with the wrong point cost. I just can't do it.
We ruled the other way for BFS. We said they're 115.
Yeah. Which they are. They just are.
I think even Battlescribe has them at 115.
Yeah, Battlescribe does.
Huh.
Because the Codex came out and had everything changed, the new 2.0 Codex, except they forgot to update the points column. So it's clearly, it wasn't even like a typo. It's a failure to delete and re-input. They did everything but that. But it's all good because the power levels changed. The evidence is there. Too many points to be good for me the way I like to play them. So I'm moving on to Terminators. Because at 350, the Terminator squad that I advocate for is better. At 195, the new Obliterators are the best. Even if they just get 1 damage, they're this 32 fucking shots.
Yeah, that I think the biggest change in the tournament scene, and I don't think it'll affect a lot of tournament players, is the ITC ruling about monofaction being awards and how to get those awards at the end of the year. I think that'll change some people's.
That actually is one of the coolest things you've said. I thought about just now. Is like we, the people, are going to have a bigger impact on the way 40K is played this year than GW is as a company, because more people are playing ITC format than any other format on the planet. And they just changed how best in faction works. And because of that, and because it is an award people covet, like, it's going to be a rise in monofaction play.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and I'm not sure it'll change things at big events, because when you go to the big event, probably for like 10% of the players, they're still going to soup if it's the strongest list to try and win that event. But then you're going to see this huge swell of players that are head to LVO trying to finish out the season, win their faction award, and they'll all be playing mono lists. So it'll create this interesting list disparity and these gaps where people can fit in.
That's your cue, Haspil.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm calling for more diversity.
That's right. Which is an old wooden ship from Civil War era, if I'm not mistaken.
I'd be surprised if ITC was concerned with an old wooden ship, Haspil.
Yeah, and I don't think at local area stuff it'll change too much. But you'll see, I think some guys that plan to go to LVO at the end of the year, they're going to make sure to get their 3 or 4 events with a pure codex during the year. They're going to make sure to have those points.
Oh, that's my plan. You're speaking my language. By LVO next year, I'm going to have collected a mono Chaos Space Marine army. 100%. Like, that's my plan, is to finish out at LVO. It's exactly you're calling it, bro.
Yeah, because this is what we talk about a lot in terms of events. If you introspect and you look at yourself as a player and you think about what you can achieve at an event, you want to achieve the most amount of things. So I've gone into LVO some years where I've been testing a new list, which I really liked. And then I look at where I'm sitting in a bunch of different placings, and I'm like, oh, I think it was 2 years ago I was playing this Tau Dark Eldar list, and I really liked it. But then I saw that I was top 3 in Eldar, and I was like, oh, well, I got to bring Eldar to LVO, because then when I do decently well, if I don't win, I'm at least going to leave with best Eldar for the year, best Eldar for the event. So this kind of thing happens at LVO, where people start to think about what can they achieve realistically. So you've had the guys in the past that bring majority faction assassins. I've seen it like at a couple LVOs where they've had a huge amount of assassin points because they were trying to win that best in assassin or best in Imperial Agents award. Now it's not a huge amount of people, but if it's like 4 or 5 people out of 800, there's that one. And that's like a small faction. Now you've got all these factions that are more popular and have builds that can succeed, maybe not to the highest level, but they can succeed. So you're gonna see pure Slanesh armies. You're gonna see pure Tzeentch armies. You're gonna see pure Chaos armies at LVO. But those players are also going to be playing that list a couple times before LVO, because you can't just win the best in faction with one score. You need 4. So that means 4 times a year at least they're going to take that faction, that pure stuff. So you may think it's not a huge uptick, but if every player plays at least 4 events in a year with a pure faction, that's a huge increase. And I think you will see that. I mean, I already thought I'm down to play like a pure Harlequin or a pure Dark Eldar like 4 times a year at a Rogue Trader tournament, or I'm certainly going to play the pure Slanesh army that I've talked about now that there's a Plaster Keeper Secrets. I'm going to play that
100%. Like, I'm all in, bro. Like, somebody in chat was like, "Are Chaos Space Marines competitive?" They have definitely many competitive elements now. And if you were going to go mono and not be able to like lean on Thousand Suns as a faction or Demons as a faction, it does open up for a lot of powerful units. And so, you could win some games for sure. Especially if everybody else, if a fourth of the audience is doing something similar to you. So, yeah. 100%. Let me slide into a promo. Guys, Long War lifetime memberships. This is the last day. If you're listening to this podcast on the road tomorrow in real time to the people watching us live. $99 lifetime membership, and you get a free shirt. It's going off the internet. The shirt's going off too. That's a 2019 exclusive that we rolled out for Adepticon and for this promotion. It's going away forever. So you can either go to the web store and still buy the shirt for the next 24 hours or get your lifetime membership. Rob urged me to remind you guys that we extended it for a week because we messed up how payments are taken. It's still not fixed, so you have to check out with PayPal. It cannot take credit cards. We apologize, but that's the facts. Not pausing for a commercial break. We're going to keep rolling right now. Pop culture with Mike Haspil and Sean Naden, the biggest nerds on the podcast. Haspil, Shazam was where you...
We have all the length and girth.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah. So Shazam. Yeah. Went to go check it out. Went to go peep it. Fun fact, Shazam is the first superhero I ever really liked. And my mom I've been trying to get these pictures from her, but when I was like 2 and 3, I wore a Shazam cape apparently everywhere. Like I wouldn't leave the house without my Shazam cape that my grandma made for me. And I actually still have the cape. And it's pretty crazy, but I was hoping my mom would have some pictures, but she hasn't responded with any. She's like, oh, they're buried away somewhere. But yeah, so I dig Shazam, and I used to watch a TV show with Mighty Isis and all that stuff and everything. So I was gung ho for the movie, and it's a pretty good movie. It is way more of a kid's movie than I expected it to be, but that's perfect for Shazam. I mean, he's a kid, so it just totally works out. But it was great family film. It was really, really funny. And there were a couple of moments in it that are spoilery, so I won't talk about it, that actually had my entire theater cheering. Wow. Some real like nerd, geek moments where somebody just says like one word and you're just like, oh my God, that was like perfect. So it was really cool. I enjoyed it a lot. So.
Yeah, I've been excited to go see that one. I haven't yet made it out to it, but it's on the list.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good movie. I had a good time with it. It was very, very funny. Let's Philly shine, with a superhero for a change. So that's kind of cool. And there are 2 post-credit sequences. So that Player J, that was one of the ones. That's one of the moments that was absolutely hilarious. And I won't say what it is on the podcast because it is spoilery. But somebody in the chat just wrote one of the moments I was talking about up there. But yeah, it was really good. And I would go as far as, if you're going to go check out one Captain Marvel before Endgame, go see Shazam. Because he was like Captain Marvel also, and then Marvel Comics sued DC, and then he couldn't be Captain Marvel anymore. So now he's Shazam. So that's kind of an interesting story there.
And then they killed him.
Wasn't that Captain Marvel's entire acquisition based on a lawsuit?
Yeah.
For DC Comics?
Yeah. I think I don't know the entire story behind it, but essentially Marvel won, and so. No,
I'm talking about like back in the day, like in the '60s, like that DC didn't just invent a guy named Captain Marvel; they acquired it through a lawsuit.
Oh, I don't know.
With another Marvel company. I
don't know. I know Marvel won so that they couldn't use Captain Marvel anymore. And that's why we have, like, at some point, there were a bunch of different Captain Marvels. So,
true story.
There's that. Of course, this is this is our last podcast before Game of Thrones comes back on the air.
Can I do it? I'm gonna do it. This is what Bonet does every time she hears about Game of Thrones. She likes to sing the opening song of Game of Thrones, with the lyrics being the word Game of Thrones, set to the tune of Dovahkiin from Skyrim. So she literally does that. She's like, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones. And she's just like saying it on her way to the fucking living room and sitting down with popcorn. I'm like, are you literally doing that right now?
That's awesome.
Fucking nerds everywhere.
Yeah, we rule the world now. It's our world. We just let you live in it.
Yeah, we've got a watch party set up with my wife and my mother-in-law and two of my good friends.
Nice.
We're getting ready. Already got food plans, and I gotta finish off this tournament real quick. Give out those awards Sunday night, and rush back to watch
Game of Thrones. It's vital, dude. They're anticipating 1 billion people to watch this, which is insane. So it's just like, wow, and so, yeah, so I will reiterate my theory of what Game of Thrones would be, which I guarantee you, since they've already scheduled like spinoffs and at least a prequel series, if I remember right, they are not going to end it this way. So, but I have a reasonable argument to say that Game of Thrones is a metaphor for climate change, and it should end with the Night King on the throne, because they had a chance to stop it and group together and everything, and they're not doing anything about it, and they should all die on Westeros. The Summer Isles will still be there, and Meereen and all the other stuff, but Westeros should just end frozen, like, close with the Night King sitting on the throne, and cut out to winter settling. Right. All over
your analogy is like, so it's coming. We've known it's coming for literally hundreds of years. We've been more interested in politicking and getting paid than fixing it. And then finally you can't ignore it anymore, but it's too late.
And so just show winter settling over. Everybody in Westeros is dead, is a white, and cut to black. The end. Directed by George R. Martin. Well, not really, but written, told to HBO guys by George R. R. Martin. But they're not going to do that, because I guarantee you, if you did that, they'd just be like, hey, that was a great ending. Frank Darabont would be proud. You're never going to work in this business again. You're done. So, but I'm really looking forward to it. April, man, this month is going to be crazy. We got Shazam, we got Game of Thrones, we have Avengers Endgame, we have, it's, and somebody, I think they said that the big, huge battle that's anticipated for Game of Thrones, that's like an hour and a half long for that episode, and it's one of the longest battles ever filmed, airs the weekend Avengers Endgame debuts. Yeah. Brutal. So there's
the director for that episode is he's really trying to make it like the Helm's Deep fight, the fight from Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
Like that's his intention, is that he wants it to feel like that, but to feel like even more so. But that's the style he's going for that.
Wow.
For that episode.
Yeah, so it's there's going to be a lot of nerd tears shed that weekend. It's gonna be rough.
Damn, which one are you gonna go see?
Oh, I'll see them both. I got my tickets for.
I got to get my tickets. Got to get that together.
Yeah.
So we get a good showtime, good seats. Our theaters now are the best theater near us has converted to now you pick your seat in the theater ahead of time, which I think is a great system.
Yeah, it's great. It's awesome.
But so I got to see if any of the good showtimes have good seats left.
Yep. So I'm going to see it 9:30 on Friday morning. I was trying to go like Thursday night, but yeah, no, I got caught slipping on the tickets. And it was
my wife in the last couple of years, because one of her, actually it's my cousin, and her have become really good friends, and they nerd out and they cosplay and they go to conventions and cosplay and dress up and all these things. She did Nebula last year for Comic-Con in New York. They've done this thing now where they get together, because she works in Manhattan and they both work in Manhattan, where they go out Friday night and see the new Marvel flick or see the new superhero flick. But I'm not going to go down to this. I'm not going to travel into the city to like meet them.
Yeah.
And then, but so like every one of these movies now, she now sees before I see it.
Oh no.
And then she's like, oh, it was so good. And I'm like, stop. So like she's seeing Shazam tomorrow night or Friday night this week. So then I've got the tournament this weekend, so I won't be able to go see it. So I'll have to schedule time with her maybe next weekend to go see Shazam. And then...
Yeah.
You sound like an adult. You're like, I need to schedule time with her. We'll check my spreadsheet.
I got to check her schedule to see if I can fit it in.
I have the like opposite problem. I'm like, hey, when do you want to go see Endgame? And my wife's just like, what's Endgame? And I'm like, oh God, okay. Well, I can go at 9:30 a.m. And the downside of that is that my theater doesn't serve beer then. Like they just now were like, hey, there are adults in this country that can like drink beer and wine in a movie theater. So, but they do have limits. You can't like just go in there and roll it. Sir, it's 9:30 in the morning. I said a double. Like, what's the problem?
my wife came from a background where she wasn't into all the superheroes, all Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. And then I started introducing her to them, and she's like, oh, this is super cool. And then one year for Christmas, I bought her the Lord of the Rings like extended cut.
Oh yeah,
director's cut Blu-ray and all that. And so we sat down that Christmas and watched it. And she's real big into like behind the scenes stuff. So those DVDs have 95 hours of behind the scenes stuff that they shot when they were filming those movies. It's like a whole documentary series on like the second and third discs and stuff. So we sat down and watched all that too, because she's obsessed with behind the scenes details on movies and all that. So
yeah, that is awesome.
You bought her the whole 47 hours of uncut Fellowship to Return of the King.
Yeah.
I tried one time. We used to have our game store in Miami, Ultimate Gaming Source, which people would confuse all the time for some source of ultimate gaming needs and come in asking for like poker chips and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we did it one day. We had our couches set up. We always had Goldmember playing in the background, which is why I'm pretty sure I've seen that movie more times than any other movie on earth. And we're like, we're going to do it. We got the box set in, hot off the press, uncut, unedited, director shit. Let's watch it. It was like an hour and 45 minutes, and we left the Shire. I was like, guys, as hype as I was an hour ago on this, I can't go down this journey with you.
You're weak.
I'm going home.
You're weak.
Yeah, you're weak.
Nope. But Game of Thrones got covered. You said you had a podcast you want to comment on.
Oh, yeah. So I am a massive, and folks may not know this about me, a massive H.P. Lovecraft fan. I devour all of his stories. Love the way the guy writes. And the BBC, and this is a little old now. This is not new, but I feel like it's a couple months old. It's not like ancient. BBC Fore did a podcast that's like a fake, those true crime podcasts that are out where they go over a case and they're kind of investigating stuff in real time and you're listening in on it. They did a fake podcast like that called The Mystery Machine. And the story that they decided to update and cover in podcast form is the case of Charles Dexter Ward. And it is absolutely fantastic the way they did it. If you're familiar with the story already, they've updated it enough and changed things enough that when they mention certain names, you're going to know who that is. And you're going to be like, oh yeah, okay, this is really cool. And they breathe new life into this story. And I cannot recommend it enough. If you are not familiar with the story of the case of Charles Dexter Ward, I would say do not read the Lovecraft story first. Listen to the podcast. It's only 10 episodes long, and the episodes are short. I feel like they're maybe only like 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. But again, I cannot recommend it enough. Go check it out and download it. The Case of Charles Dexter Ward by Howard Phillips Lovecraft. And yeah, peep it out, man. It's going to be fantastic. It's really, really well done. Really good. And that's kind of. Oh, I'm going to be at FanX next week in Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City. That's what they changed it to, right?
Yeah, Salt Lake City FanX. I'll be there Friday and Saturday at the Bard's Tower booth. So if you're hanging out in that area in Utah and you want to come peep by and say hi, go ahead. Yeah, I might be. If I'm not there, I'm on a panel somewhere. But yeah, I'll be there the whole weekend.
So we've got. I'll be there. By the way, I'll see you there. I won't. But obligatory Abrams rant is written on the spreadsheet too.
Oh yeah. So this is a bit of a downer, actually. In the last like 2 weeks, and somebody asked about this in the webcast. They said, "Can we get an obligatory J.J. Abrams rant?" And I kind of don't have one, and there's 2 reasons for that. One, as much as I hate J.J. Abrams, the way he tells stories, I don't hate the person. I don't hate the guy. He's a good guy, but I don't like the way he tells stories. So as much as I hate him for what he did to like Star Trek and to Star Wars, there are a lot of people that really enjoy his work. So I've been trying to get away from just like crapping on it. And I'm not trying to take away somebody else's enjoyment of something because I don't enjoy it. There's enough of that going around. So I've kind of taken a step back from just pointing out all the things that are wrong with like what J.J. Abrams does. The other reason is that I'm no longer, and this kind of hurt me, I'm no longer invested in any of his stuff. So it's like, when I was like, I don't even know what JJ's doing. And then I thought about it and I went, oh, he's doing Star Wars Episode 9. And a couple of weeks ago, I stopped being a Star Wars fan. And the thing is that I had not been a Star Wars fan for a while. But I didn't know it. And it hit me like 2 weeks ago or a couple weeks ago. And it hit me really, really hard. And I realized it because my brother, he lives in Florida. So he's obviously super excited about the new Star Wars land that opens up. I think it opens up in the end of May, Galaxy's End. And he's super excited about it. And he got like some kind of article that he sent me about all the merch, all the exclusive merch that you're going to be able to buy in Star Wars land, in the Galaxy's End, and it's holocrons and all this stuff like that. And I collect replica movie props. That's one of my hobbies. So I collect high-end collectibles, I have all kinds of crazy stuff in my basement. I have like a little prop museum that I've assembled. Some of the stuff I've built, some of the stuff I just bought, and so it would, in my old days, I would have lost my mind over getting a Sith or a Jedi holocron that was a licensed collectible. And I read this article and was just like, meh. And then about a half hour later, I went, oh my God, I'm not a Star Wars fan anymore. And it really hit me hard. Like I was just like, well, like what happened? Like I'm not invested in this. I'm just don't care anymore. So unfortunately, with JJ being in charge of that, it's like, I didn't see The Last Jedi. I didn't see Solo, and I'm not planning on seeing Episode 9. So we can't get a JJ rant because
you don't care anymore.
I don't care anymore. So that's where that come to. We're just kind of sad. I'm not proud of that, and I'm not happy about it. I'm like, I want to have those arguments about, whether or not Boba Fett or IG-88 is better, but I can't.
I don't know who the other guy is, but Boba Fett's terrible at his job. So I don't know. See if I'm trying to bait him into defending it. Boba Fett's the worst bounty hunter in the galaxy.
I guess. I see. I can't do it. I can't even muster a give a shit. I don't have my give a shitter is broken.
You woke up with 2 fucks. How many fucks do you have?
Yeah, it's
Still
literally
2.
to like tie it to like Game of Thrones and to steal a line from a guy who has a great song. It's my fucks doth runneth dry. I have no more fucks to give about Star Wars. And that's a great song, by the way. Just look that up.
My fucks
and you will
doth
have a
dry.
great laugh. But yeah, it's kind of I'm like, okay, I will still argue about Marvel. I'm still passionate about a Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings and a bunch of other fandoms, but
40K.
But I'm like 40K.
You're back. You're back.
Yeah.
So there is hope.
What's Dead May Never Die.
Yeah,
that's right.
Facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
So it's like, okay, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's like I don't know. I don't know what to say. That's what it is. It's like it's just kind of sad.
Understood. That's like the most cold as ice religion. The drowned God, what is dead may never die.
Yeah.
That is you're a hard dude when that's your life. Like in a pre-modern medical era, some dude's gonna drown my ass in a lake. And let's see what happens.
Not just a lake, Kenny. Salt water.
Oh yeah, salt water.
Salt.
Yeah.
God. Can't I just get drowned in like a shallow creek?
Nope. Iron price, man.
Man, and see, that's why I roleplay as a raider in Fallout, because I'll pay the iron price in a video game. IRL? Nope. I live in Westeros. I'm chilling. I'm just like, mid-tier craftsman, just chilling in the city. Life's great. No, video games, I'm, a Dothraki screamer. Roleplay.
Yeah.
But we did it. We did everything we said we were going to do. All of our predictions, our rants, our nerd stuff, we ran with our skeleton crew tonight. Normally, this is when I pass it off to Rob to then therefore pass it off to Haspil.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pass it off to Sean to pass it off to Haspil.
All right, fellas. That was the long war. Haspil, take us out.
You lived your life for the king. Now you're going to die for some chickens?